And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is up, everybody? I hope you're all having a great week right now. If you're not tuning in live, you're probably going to be listening to this while I'm in Rome. So I'm going on vacation. So I am recording this podcast in advance because I won't be home in order to record the podcast. So I'm going to record in advance for y'all. So let's hope that I'm having a good time on vacation. We'll be in Rome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But gotta first get on here and shed some value for y'all while I'm gone, because I couldn't miss a podcast episode. You already know how it is. We got to do one a week. Don't want to miss my upload. So we on here. And I'm just doing a normal solo podcast episode today. I know I've been doing a lot of interviews lately, which are great. I love doing the interviews. I love learning more about, different topics and diving in deeper into some specifics with some professionals in their area. So I love doing that. I love having people on because I learn. Not only do y'all learn, but I'm learning as well. I try to ask questions that help me and you learn, so we can learn something new to help us on our fitness journey. But we solo today, so probably have a little quick podcast topic for y'all today. We're going to talk about a quote, and if you've seen the title, you probably know what quote we're going over. But this is one that I like. I actually heard my pastor say this a while back, and I wrote it down because I thought it was a good one. It definitely applies to your fitness journey, but it also applies to pretty much everything you do in life. I mean, there's so much correlation that happens from fitness that applies into other areas of your life. And I definitely think this quote applies as well. So that's why I want to talk about it. But we're going to keep it more fitness related. And the quote is, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So I'll say it again. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. So it kind of makes sense, like if you think about it. And this is a powerful quote for anybody on your fitness journey, because you need to apply it. You can't just, if you're not seeing the results that you want to see, it's probably because you haven't changed anything up. You're probably still doing the same thing you were doing before. And if you are doing something different, and it ain't working, then we got to make some adjustments. We got to make some changes, because obviously that's not working. Because if you're going to get the same results if you're doing the same things, period. So we got to change it up. So let's break down the quote a bit. Let's break down the quote a little bit. So the meaning is just like, if you repeat the same actions, it's going to lead to the same results. Pretty simple, pretty basic. I know y'all understand that. So in fitness, this is going to apply to your workouts. It's going to apply to your nutrition. It's going to apply to your sleep. And most importantly, it's going to apply to your habits, your lifestyle habits. So this is especially important for the people that's not working out at all. You may not be working out at all, or eating healthy on your fitness journey at all, and you're wondering why you keep gaining weight. You're wondering why you're getting out of shape. You're wondering why you can't bend over and touch your toes. Because if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So you can't just expect to not work on things or to keep doing what you're doing now and expect things to get better or expect to get different results. You can't. So we got to change that up. We got to make some adjustments. We got to, see what we're doing wrong and go from there. If nothing changes, progress is going to stall, point blank, period. Whether that be weight loss, whether that be muscle gain, whether that's your endurance goals, your cardio, your running, whatever it is you're training for or you're trying to improve. If you're not changing anything up, you're going to plateau and you're not going to see any results. Your progress is going to stall, period. So yeah. So how can we relate this quote to a fitness journey? So when it comes to your workouts, if you're doing the same exact exercises, the same exact workouts, doing the same exact weights, doing the same amount of reps, doing the same amount of intensity, all these things are going to equal no growth or progress or stalled progress. You're going to hit a plateau. That's the term we like to use in fitness, is a plateau. Eventually your results are going to stall out. Like, yeah, you may see results at first by doing, let's just say 135 on a bench press, or doing, 20 minutes on a treadmill. Well, after a while, your body's going to, kind of build up to that. It's going to get used to that, and you're not going to have the same results from it. So you're going to have to change it up. You may have to switch out your exercises. You may have to add some weight. You may have to add some intensity. You may have to do more reps. You need to do a different workout plan, depending on what it is. So this is a pretty, simple one here. You don't just want to go in the gym, do the same exact workout, same exact weights. You're not going to get different results from doing that. Now, with that being said, I want to preface this. That does not mean you need to go in there and do different workouts, different weights, different reps, different sets every single day. No, that's not true. You need to follow a plan, a structured plan. And most plans will have you doing the same workouts, the same weights, the same intensities for a while, because you can benefit from doing the same one. And you don't want to go up until you get the maximum benefits from that, from that lift. Because if you jump up too early, one, your risk of injury goes way up. And two, you won't be able to see as much progress because you're jumping up, you're skipping that too far ahead. So yes, you will do, the same workouts, same exercises and weights for a while. But then when you stop seeing results from that, or if they slow down, or if they kind of plateau, then that's the point where you want to change it up. You want to add some weight, do different exercises, whatever that looks like. So probably about 4 to 8 weeks is when you want to kind of switch things up a little bit. It's depending on the person, depends on the training program, depends on if you're working with a coach, what they want you to do. It depends on a lot of things. There's a lot of factors that go into that. I think most programs you see will change around that, 4 to 8 week period. Some training plans may be 12 weeks, some may be 16 weeks, some may be 4, 8. It's all different. It just depends. I say you just do them for as long as you can to where you're still seeing results. And then after that, that's when I would kind of switch it up. But yeah, preferably get you a coach or get you a training plan that you're following, and just follow that training plan. When it comes to your nutrition, if you're just eating the same unhealthy foods, you're going to have the same struggles when it comes to energy, when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to performance. You're eating the same food, you're going to have the same result, period. Like, you got to change it up. We all know we got to eat healthier foods. I don't think I have to say that. But yeah, if you're not losing weight, if you're not, if you're struggling with energy, the stuff you put in your mouth has a lot to do with that. It does. It has a lot to do with your performance. If you're feeling bad, if you're feeling, kind of groggy after you eat, things like that. It's all what you put in your mouth, your nutrition, all has an effect on that. So we got to change that up. We can't keep eating McDonald's every other day and expect to lose some weight. It's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, trust me, we all love McDonald's. I know it's good. I eat it sometimes myself, but I try not to. You try to have a balance. Only use those when you absolutely have to. And then also, it comes down to your mindset. So stop thinking that I'll start tomorrow or I'll start Monday. This is going to keep you in that repeating cycle of procrastination. You're going to, like, one thing is going to lead to the next. You're going to be like, oh, well, I'll work out tomorrow. Oh, I'll eat that healthy food, tomorrow. Or, oh, I'll have this dessert now, and then tomorrow I'll eat right. Like, you got to get out of that cycle, out of that procrastination. You know what I'm saying? You can't just keep putting it off, because you put it off one day, then it's going to be a lot easier to put it off the next time. It's going to be easier to say, oh, well, I put it off Monday, I'll just put it off again today. We'll do it the next day. You know what I'm saying? It just creates that cycle, that repeating cycle. So we want to stay away from that. We got to change that mindset when it comes to getting better results. So how do we apply this quote in our fitness journey? First, what you want to do is you want to audit your current routine. So identify in your current routine what is not working. Like, what is not working for you? Try to think about what you're doing. Think about how it's affecting you. Think about, is it helping you? Is it hurting you? Or is it keeping you the same? This is what we want to do. We want to audit this. So all the things that's obviously helping you, we want to keep those things in. Anything that's hurting you, we obviously want to take those things out. And then the things that kind of keep you the same, that's kind of a questionable. We may want to keep this the same or not. It just depends on how that fits in your schedule. If it's something you enjoy doing, that just depends. We won't talk about those for now. Those can stay or take them out, just depending on, on your schedule and things like that. So audit your routine. What are you doing? What are you eating on a daily basis? What do your workouts look like on a daily basis? How much sleep are you getting on a daily basis? Do you need to get more sleep? Do you need to work out more days of the week? Do you need to work out less days of the week? That may be some of you. Do you need to, cut out some of the junk food that you're eating? Do you need to eat healthier foods? So audit what you're doing. Think about your normal daily routine. Go through it from the morning, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, and just think about things like, oh, this is a good thing. I should definitely keep this in. Oh, I probably shouldn't be doing this, so we'll try to work on that one. Or this one, it's fine. We'll leave it there, and things like that. Just kind of go on about your day, audit your routine, and then from there, what you want to do is you want to make small but intentional changes. Small but intentional changes. So, for example, in the gym, you want to start adding small increases in your weight. So, progressive overload in the gym. So, you want to get stronger. Like I said, you can't do that same weight, for 6 months. You got to start after, 8, 10, 12 weeks. You want to start bumping that weight up a little bit. Add a 2.5 pounds on each end of the bar. Go up by 5, Add a little bit of weight, a little bit of progressive overload. You can also add progressive overload by adding reps. You can add sets to your workout. You can do different workouts, different things like that. So this is why you can add progressive overload. We want to do that over time. Small changes, not big. Don't add 25 pounds. Add just 5. And then do that for a few weeks until it gets easier, until you can do it. And then add another 5 and just keep building up like that. For your nutrition, you can swap one unhealthy food for one healthier choice. So one thing that for a fact in your diet that's not necessarily good for you, or it's not benefiting you for your results, try swapping that one food out for a healthier food. Just one. Start with one. Don't try to swap your whole diet. Don't try to swap every meal. Just that one. That's a good place to start, and that's going to get you going in the right direction. Because obviously that meal is not helping you at all. So if we can just swap one, well, then that's going to be better than what you did yesterday. Because if you had that one meal or that one food that wasn't necessarily good yesterday, and then you swapped it out today, well, guess what? That's progress. Like, you're doing better today than you were yesterday, and that's all we need to do. We don't want to do too much at once, because too much is like, it's not sustainable. You end up quit doing that after a while, and then you kind of just give up on it. We don't want to do that. You don't want to take all your favorite foods out, especially if there's a lot of food that you really enjoy that may not be good for you. Just swap one of them out. Don't try to do all of them at once. We'll work on that over time. And then when it comes to your sleep, adjust your sleep routine to recover better. I think we've all pretty much heard that we need about 8 hours of sleep every night, and we want to strive for this. Some people need less, some people need more. So it's anywhere from 7 to 9 hours. I think 8 hours is a good sweet spot for most people. We want to try doing that. The best way I can tell you to help get more sleep is to get you a night routine. I know most people have a morning routine, which is great. I have one myself, but get you like a wind down routine that you do in the evening. Like, what do you like to do in the evening to get yourself ready for sleep? And you may even need to, I know this sounds crazy, but you may even need to set an alarm to tell you when to go to sleep. We all set alarms to wake up in the morning, but it may help you to set an alarm at nighttime to let you know, oh, I need to get into bed. I need to go to sleep. And that could be something that helps you. You could try it. If not, then don't necessarily do it. But yeah, we want to try to, limit our light exposure at nighttime. We want to try to wind down. So if you can dim your lights, I don't know, some people can, some people can't. So try dimming your lights. Try not to be on your phone late at night, especially in the bed. We all know at this point, phones give off blue light. That's not necessarily good for our eyes at nighttime. So blue light is fine for your eyes during the day, but that blue light is not good for you at nighttime, because it signals to your body, to your brain, that you need to be awake. Because blue light, it comes from the sun, which tells you it's daytime. We want to be awake during daytime. Well, when you're looking at your phone at night, you're telling your brain, oh, it's daytime. I want to be awake. So it just kind of hurts your sleep a little bit, because your body, it's not, your timeline's not setting up correctly. Your circadian rhythm gets off. So try to limit phone exposure. I know we're all bad about doing this. I do this myself. I'm not perfect. I play on my phone at night too. I try not to do it. They do have settings on your phones nowadays that help with this. So they actually have like a kind of like blue light modes, where it'll turn your screen kind of like a yellow color. Or you can also go like the red mode. That's like the extreme, like no blue light at all. If you turn it all the way to red. I know iPhones can do this. I'm sure I'm sure Androids can do it. But yeah, they have modes on there that help. So if you do have to use your phone at night, try to use one of these modes to not get as much blue light in your eyes. If you can, don't have the TV on. I'm a TV watcher. I like to watch YouTube at nighttime. That's just my thing. Try like reading a book or something to help you wind down because there's no screen on it. It helps kind of calm your mind and get you ready for bed. So that's some good little tips for getting ready for bed at night to help you get some more sleep. This is one thing that I've been focusing on a lot myself is sleep because I'm doing a lot of endurance stuff. So recovery is super critical for me right now. So this is one thing I've been trying to get better at. I lost my spot. Okay, yeah. Adjust. Okay, so embrace discomfort when it comes to making changes. You're gonna have to embrace discomfort. When you change something up, it's often gonna feel challenging. It's gonna come with some challenges for sure. It's gonna come with different. It's gonna have some differences to it. But that challenge, that uncomfortable feeling you get, that's kind of where you grow. Like that's where growth happens, is in these uncomfortable, challenging positions that you go through. So you kind of want to embrace this and realize that's what's happening. Like don't think, oh, it's getting hard. Like, I just want to quit. Why is it so hard? Understand that's what's happening. Like this is hard. This is where I got to grow. This is where I got to learn. This is what I got to overcome. This is the challenge that if I can complete this and I can overcome this, then I'm going to be better. Like I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to grow from that. And just know that going in. Like it's going to be hard. Anytime change comes, there's always some kind of like difficulty or challenge or uncomfortableness that comes with it. And that's just part of it. You got to know that going in. So the more you can understand this, the better you'll be. And then also you want to track progress so you can see the impact of these new habits that you're making. So when you have these changes, try to track your progress on whatever it is that you're changing, that you're improving, so that you can see if it's working or not. You can see if you're getting the benefit from it, because you may not be. You may change something up and you may not get the result that you was expecting. So if that's the case, then we need to alter it again. You need to make some changes. You need to switch it up and do something different. But sometimes you won't realize it or you won't know if you're not tracking your progress. So if it's, if you're trying to get stronger in the gym, track your weights that you're doing each week. If you're trying to lose some weight, track how much weight you've lost each week or whatever. You're trying to get faster at running, track your mile times or whatever you're doing. So try to track the progress so you can see the tangible results. Because sometimes it's not easy to see. Like a lot of times the scale can lie to you. A lot of times the mirror can lie to you. So we need to kind of track this progress so we can see the differences. So if you want a new outcome when it comes to anything in life, but especially your fitness journey, you must create new actions, period. You must do something different to get a different result. So for example, if you've been stuck at the same weight for a few months, if you're trying to lose weight, something in your training or your diet must shift. Like if you're doing the same things day in and day out, you're staying at the same weight day in and day out, then something's got to change in your training, in your diet, in your maybe even your recovery. So yeah, something's got to change. Another example, if you want to run faster, then you can't keep jogging at the same slow pace every single time. Like you can't go out there and run a 10-minute mile every single time you go run if you want to get faster. Like you got to push yourself. You got to challenge yourself. You got to start training at those faster paces. And it's just a little progress over time. You're not going to go out there and run, 5 miles at a 9-minute pace when you've been running 5 miles at a 10-minute pace. You got to start with 1 mile. Start with 1 mile, and then the next day, do 1.5 miles, and then keep working your way up like that. So, the quote kind of reminds me of another quote: "Change is the bridge to new results." So you have, old you here. I know y'all can't see this if you're listening. You have your old you on the left. You have the new you on the right, and then in between, that's change. That's the bridge that connects old you to new you. There's a bridge there, and that's change. That's what you got to do. So I know if you're watching the audio only, you just have to visualize this for yourself. So yeah, that's kind of the change there. There's also another quote this reminds me of a lot. It kind of is the same principle, and that is, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So I don't know if y'all got that. I'm going to say it again so you can understand. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. I see your comment on here, Austin. You said, have kids and you'll get plenty of sleep. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I don't have kids yet, but I've heard that is not the case when it comes to having kids. But yeah, it reminds me of the quote, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So that simply means if you're not making any changes, then you're not going to get any different result. Your result's not going to change. So it's kind of along the same lines of this quote. So I encourage you, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. No, comfort produces the same results. We all want to be comfortable because it's comfortable. It feels good. But you might as well get comfortable with those results, because that's all you're going to get. If you're being comfortable, you're going to get the same results. When you want to experience growth, you're going to have to experience discomfort. Discomfort produces growth. They go hand in hand together. Period. So I want you to think of one area in your fitness journey or in your life right now where you're repeating old patterns. You're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're not really seeing any results, or you're not seeing the results that you want to see. So I want you to think of one area, just one. Let's not try to do 10 different areas. Let's not try to change your whole routine, your whole diet. Just think of one that you really want to focus on, that you can think that may be holding you back the most. And that's the one I want you to work on. I want to challenge yourself to change that one thing this week. Like this week, you should be listening to this on a Monday. Change that one thing and do it for a whole week. See if you can do it for 1 week. And I promise you, you won't regret it. It'll be a good thing, So what's that one area in your life that you know is holding you back, or you think may be holding you back? Or what's that one thing that you really want to change? Pick that one thing and go for it this week. Just do it for 1 week. Don't challenge yourself to do it for a month. Don't challenge to do it yourself for a year. Do it for 1 week. And then after 1 week, then reevaluate yourself and go from there. If you want to keep doing that same thing, then hey, make it 2 weeks, and then go from there. Don't try to do too much at once. So yeah, just to recap, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. No new results come without new action. You're not going to get a different result without different action. Simple as that. So I encourage y'all, identify that one thing you want to change today and go do it. Go change it. Do something different. Change it up. Don't do the same thing, because you're going to get the same result. So that's all I got for y'all today. I know this was a solo podcast. I still like doing these by myself sometimes. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I invite y'all to share the podcast if you haven't. Share it with a friend. Share it with a buddy. Subscribe on the podcast platform that you listen to. We're on all major podcasting platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Y'all leave a review. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment, review, whatever you got to do. Share it with somebody so we can help everybody get started on their fitness journey, because that's the goal. We just want to help one person with every episode to help inspire people to start living healthier lifestyles. So that's the goal. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all learned something from the podcast today. And y'all make sure to tune in to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast next week. Y'all have a great day. Peace, love, protein. We out.